Hey YouTubers, it's Dave. I'm finally making it back. I apologize for the long break there. One night I was in bed fly tying and I put my tools away, and when I laid down, for some reason I started into a cough, and the cough turned into me losing my breath, panting, and I mean and there was a bunch of crackling going on, and it scared me halfway to death. I don't know why it crept up so quick, but it turned out to be pneumococcal pneumonia, and the stress from me waiting for the ambulance until I got some oxygen on me and they took me to the hospital, I ended up having what they said was a mild heart attack. So I've been on the mend. I was only in the hospital for 4 days, which, believe me when I tell you, that's long enough. If you've been in the hospital as many times as I have, that's more than enough time. But nonetheless, I made it back. They told me that pneumococcal pneumonia that I had is literally what takes a lot of the older folks out. And I mean people 75, 80 years old. You know, if they get that, their body just is not strong enough to fight that back usually. And to get back to it. And it had me down for, I don't know, about a month. I still have little signs of it. You know, my breathing gets a little funny on me sometimes. I feel run down, no energy whatsoever. But nevertheless, I made it through, and here I am, and I'm bringing you another video finally. And again, as I said, I do apologize for the wait, but there's not much you can do about life storms. I mean, when they come, they're coming. There ain't no stopping it. You just have to be as prepared as possible to deal with whatever it is. And through no choice of my own, I definitely did do that. There was no way around it, like I said. And I just appreciate you guys. I hope I didn't lose a bunch of you guys because of the wait, but if I did, I can't blame you. You know, you guys are looking to see content every day, and when it's not coming up on the regular, that's usually not good for people who are making videos. So I don't mind trying to start all over again to gain everybody back if I can. Yeah. That's about all I wanted to say right now. I'm gathering some hooks right now, because today I'm going to be tying up a light cahill spinner. And here in just a couple minutes I will show you the process. I probably could have done more to get prepared, but at the same time I haven't made a video for a while, so I wanted to come on and talk to you guys while I was getting ready. So yeah, that was quite a fiasco going down there. I was on my way down in the ambulance, and here in my driveway they gave me 2 of those nitro pills, which is for people with heart problems, and I've never had a heart problem. As a matter of fact, every time I've been tested, they told me I have the heart of an 18-year-old. And here I am, I'm 58, so I was pretty proud of that. And then turned around and they gave me 2 nitros in my driveway, as I said, and then gave me 2 more before I even made it to the emergency room. They were just trying to, I guess, my blood pressure was so high that 242 over 190 something. It was pretty bad because of the stress from not being able to breathe. I mean, it was horrible. It felt like I was on my way out. I was scared, literally scared shizzle list. I was, oh my goodness. I don't wish anything like that on anybody. And the noise that I was hearing, it was a crackling noise, what people call the death rattle. That's exactly what I had. And so of course that had me scared too, because I know what that's about. But anyhow, I thought maybe it was either that or it was I was having congestive heart failure and water was filling into my lungs, and that was going to be a wrap. So, but anyhow, it was none of the above. It was just, I guess the pneumococcal pneumonia is the kind of pneumonia that'll sneak up on you out of the blue. Like you don't feel it coming on, it'll just say, boom, here I am. And that's exactly what it did to me. Like I said, I was having a great night of fly tying in the bed, cranking out a bunch of patterns. I took my time to put my tools all away, laid back in my bed, and next thing you know, I start coughing, and then my breath is gone, and it was terrible. It was terrible. But like I said just a couple of minutes ago, I'm back. I got through it by the grace of God, and only by the grace of God, I'm sure. And today we're back, and I'm going to tie up, I think I already told you, it's a light cahill spinner. And I just laid my thread bed down, and I got to get out the few materials. This is a very simple pattern for you guys to, if you're new, But it doesn't matter if you're a new tire or an old tire, but this is one for the new people, really, because it's easy and it'll help you learn. This here I'm using, this is called Parapost Wings, and it's dark gray. I use this for the tail and the wings on this pattern. So I'm going to get in there and I'm going to pull a decent sized strip out, because after this I'm going live on TikTok, tying a whole bunch of them so I can finish my production order on those. So you just gotta, you know, anywho. Leave life bleeding in my hands again. This ends up making a pretty neat tail, as you're going to see here in a minute. And I like to measure it to be about the length of my shank of my hook. And I use a pinch wrap right here so I can get it down tight, and then I just wrap it back. And we're going to go right to the end of the shank, right before the hook starts bending, which is about another, that's it right there. So I'm going to wrap it back up forward. Today I'm not going to be wrapping this in to build my body, because I'm going to be building the body anyway. I don't have to have a taper on this one so much. I mean, a little bit of a taper, yes, but not necessarily. The reason why they call these spent wings or spinners is this is the last stage of a dry fly's life. So they'll be floating on the water when their wings decide to break apart and fall in the water. And they call them spinners because after they pass away, they sit there and spin on the water, and the trout know they're done, so that they target them. And these are actually a very productive pattern if you can catch them. And all the flies do that. Like a sulfur dry fly, blue-winged olives, they all do it. That's what their life cycles are: larva, nymph, emerger, dry fly, spent wing. So if you can catch the spent wing, it's a lot of fun, because the trout can't resist it, because you know they're not going to fly away, and the trout know it. The trout are like, aha, you're done. So I'm going to make sure you're in my belly. One thing about this Parapost material is it has a lot of funkiness going on. Nothing bad. Like there's a lot of little fibers that stick out all over the place, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, because it gives it that nice buggy look that Jesse Rochester talks about for mainly flies. Nonetheless, now I'm tying the body in, and I am using dirty bug yarn in chartreuse, because the colors start turning green in this fly a little bit from yellow. It's like a really light pale yellow, and then as it ages it gets a little bit more green, and by the time it hits spent wing, it's pretty much full chartreuse, or right in that neighborhood. Snip that out of the way. Now I'll grab the wings. I hope I cut that long enough. Oh yeah, plenty long enough. And this, what you're going to want to do is, it's just a figure 8 thing. I get 2 wraps one way, 1, 2, and then I hold it this way, and we'll come this way. And that's the tough part about those fibers, is they will grab your thread and try to make you look like you don't know how to tie. You know, it'll pull the wing with you, but luckily I'm just having a lucky time right here, which is good because I'm on video right now. So they're nice and in. I like to do the figure 8 to hold them nice and tight, and as you can see, they're in there. They're not going nowhere now. So now that I've got that, I'm going to wrap up to about one hook eye length back from the main eye, and then I'm going to wrap this up. And you want to keep your wraps pretty close to each other. Well, you want them as tight as up against each other as possible, but not over top of each other. You don't even want it partially over top the other wrap. I mean, you could, if you wanted to build your, depends on what you want to do with it, like to build your taper, you could do that, but at the end of this one, the taper's built automatically because I have to wrap in between these wings twice. So here we go. I'm wrapping in between this way, going down there, grabbing my thread, and then I've got to come back through kind of a figure 8 with my yarn, and that makes my taper automatically. Sometimes when you're pulling down on this thread, it tries to pull down on the wing, but you just have to finagle with it. It can be a booger. at least 60% of fly tying is you manipulating the feathers and materials. If you learn how to manipulate materials, you'll become a much better fly tyer. And I'm not saying that I have that down pat, because I don't by far. I'm getting better and better and better at it. You'd think I should have it down after tying for 30 years with a break in between. I probably have a total of, at this point, about 16 years of tying in. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to bring my bobbin over to catch that yarn. Now that I've got it caught, I will pull back on the wings, and I will work my way right here towards the wings to help hold them back. I'm sorry, my voice is still jacked up from that pneumonia. I have to apologize. I'll follow you down. Right there. And the way I get my wings even on both sides is I grab them both and pull them both up, and I cut them to the length of desired. And I like to go about 3/4 of an inch, if not 1 inch, something like that, because it's going to shorten up because I'm pulling so hard anyway. And then you just bring them out to the sides, and I'm sure you guys can see all those fibers there. But just know, once the water hits them, they'll chill a little bit. Alright, so I want to finish building my head a little bit with this and catching any unnecessary fibers that were there, which I feel like I did that now. So now I'm going to get my whip finisher out. Here you go. I like to do a 4 to 6 turn whip finish, and on this fly I'm only going to do it once because I'm going to be using UV resin to make that head a little harder. And you want to talk about a fly that's going to float. That's going to float. Now the last pattern I was doing, I was using poly yarn, and it was treated with floating poly yarn, so that pattern is going to float high too. That was on the blue quill spinner, which, in case you're wondering what that is, instead of just talking, I will show you. What's it say? It says the complete hanger. Nope, that's the gray. What am I? Maybe I don't have the white here. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to show you. I lied to you. There you go, lying to your guys, Dave. What the hell? But anyhow, I'm going to take the time. I already did that. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to take this out and show it to you guys up close and personal, like I try to do for you. Once I get the wings the way I want them to. Those fibers can really cause you issues, but it makes for a beautiful fly. It really does. There it is. There's the top with the wings, and I know you see all these fibers, but like I said, don't let them bother you, because it's not going to matter to the fish. This is going to make a high. This thing is going to float so beautifully. And there's the video for today, guys. I thank you guys so very much for being here. Much love to every one of you. God bless you. I love you all. You guys have a good day, a good week, a good month, whatever. And hopefully you'll be seeing me more often. I'm going to try to post at least 3 days a week. I'm not going to do the everyday thing. It gets to be too much with me going live and some of the other social media things I have going on. But you guys have a good day. If you get a chance, go out and follow that Flysmith guy, because I'm going to tell you, that man posts every single day of the week. And he has to take his videos that he makes and edit them down into a 60-minute short to post them. And everybody thinks that's just easy. Let me tell you, I don't even do half of what he does, and it's hard to keep up with. So I don't know how he does that, how he goes live daily, how he runs a business, and he's a family man. It's crazy. He's a robot. That's what it is. But anyhow, y'all have a good one. God love y'all.